my friends, I'm Baron Bones, and as you may have noticed, I'm talking about the Evil Dead. But first, let me apologize for not gracing you with my presence earlier. You see, I had reasons to take some time off. But as we inch ever closer to Evil Dead Burn, I wanted to celebrate my favorite horror franchise, the Evil Dead franchise. Now, as some of you might have noticed when I reviewed Send Help, I am a huge Sam Raimi fan. And as a result, I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. I love the franchise, and I have always stated that I believe the Evil Dead franchise has no bad entries. No pressure, Evil Dead Burn. Just don't screw it up. So, I thought what better way to celebrate the coming of a new Evil Dead movie than by reviewing the Evil Dead movies one at a time, starting with the 1983 original, The Evil Dead. Before we continue, let's acknowledge one simple fact. It's a miracle this movie got made! Sam Raimi, for his first film, decided to basically make a longer version of a student film of his, and he got a bunch of friends together, managed to get the local investors, managed to scrape together a budget of about $375,000, and managed to push through what a lot of actors described as hellish conditions. That being said, the film was released in 1983 and was way more successful than anyone could have anticipated. Like I said, $375,000 budget, and it made over $29 million at the box office. Think about that for a moment, folks. This is the film that could. And it did well with critics and audiences. So, what makes The Evil Dead so endearing to fans today? Is it the story? Well, let's talk about it, actually. So, The Evil Dead follows a group of college students, from what I can gather, as they go to a cabin in the woods for reasons, find a recording in the basement, play the recording for reasons, and unleash demons, spirits, that begin possessing them one by one. As you may have noticed, the story is a little lacking in a narrative that makes any sense. The character decisions are weird. The idea of the film seems loose and reliant on plot convenience. And there are some plot elements that don't age well. You all know the scene I'm talking about. Don't make me go into specifics. But the film still endures. Why is that? Well, I have a theory, and I'll be honest with you, this is where the film is going to probably turn from review side to me ranting a little bit, and I apologize if you don't like this. But why do I think The Evil Dead stands out? Because it takes its low-budget quality and cloaks itself in it and uses it as a shield and sword. Like, it knows what it is. And it embraces every moment of it. The film quality, to the acting, to the what the heck story. This film is simple and well executed, starting with the story's pacing. Yes, as I said, it is a nonsensical story with bad character decisions, but let's face it, it's a horror movie. It's supposed to have nonsensical plot lines with bad character decisions. Otherwise, most horror movies wouldn't exist. Where most of the time, films try to cover up these bad decisions by trying to justify them, Evil Dead doesn't. Instead, acknowledging that the viewers probably know that these are bad decisions, and just moving forward. I kind of like that. It's what really works about this film as far as the story is concerned. The acting is a little bit over the top. But that works in this film because of the way it's done. Now, everyone's going to know Bruce Campbell is Ash Williams, but this is before he became the Ash we all know and love. This is a much more weaker Ash, a much more less, for lack of a better term, manly Ash. One who really doesn't take charge. In fact, he doesn't really become our main character until the end of the film, for the most part. But his acting stands out. And though I don't really know much about the other performers, they still do a fantastic job knowing exactly what they're in and playing it up. And it works so well because the film knows what it is. Now, some of you might be thinking, 1983, the film quality is probably not great, especially with its budget. And you're not wrong, but Sam Raimi knew what he was doing back then even. For one, his use of practical effects is spectacular. Yes, you do notice some of the work that went into this and some of the pipes for blood. You kind of notice some things on watch that you probably wouldn't notice if it was made today. But to be honest with you, if it was made today, it wouldn't have the same charm that it is. Like, I really enjoy the quality here because it's so wonderfully low budget. And they managed to make it work. Like, I haven't even dared to buy the Blu-ray copy because I don't want to see a higher resolution copy of this movie. I think this movie's better in DVD just because of how low quality it is, and it makes the film still have its charm that I feel like it had. Furthermore, everything about The Evil Dead put together just works because it just, again, I've said this before multiple times, knows what it is. Too many horror movies try to pretend that they're smarter than they actually are, but this one doesn't. And instead, just goes straight at you. The intensity rises, the situation starts to become a downward spiral, the characters' mental states start to come into question, and it does it so simply that it just works. I really enjoy The Evil Dead, and I really recommend it if you're an avid horror fan. If you aren't, yeah, don't even touch this franchise. You have other franchises that you might want to start with first. The Evil Dead franchise is not a jumping off board for non-horror fans. There are probably better entries. That being said, I highly recommend The Evil Dead to avid horror fans, and it's a must-watch in the genre. Let's put it that way. Anyway, that's my opinion on the first Evil Dead movie. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. And as I stated, I will be talking about the other Evil Dead movies on this channel soon. I hope you look forward to that. And as always, stay terrified.